A lot of guys really enjoy polishing, cleaning up their bikes, you know, and more power to them. But for me, I'm always looking for ways to get the job done better and faster. And so when a buddy dropped by his bike, I says, you know, this would be a great opportunity to try out some new products from Wizards. And what I like about the Wizards products is they get the job done. There's a lot of product, you know, you go to the bike shop or auto parts store, you know, you're going to see all kinds of products on the shelves that are going to, you know, supposedly do a good job. But when you get them home, they all work about the same. The Wizards is like, you know, you can count on it to get the job done. One of the things they've done is they've incorporated the products you need into this motorcycle cool kit. Besides this nice bag to keep everything in one place, they include their most popular items to actually, you know, clean up your bike and keep it looking good. One is the bike wash. It's a great product for spraying down your bike, loosens up all that grime, then, you know, you just hose it off and you get your bike looking really good and clean. The bug release that they sell is a great product because it, you know the way the bugs kind of like dry up and get hard on the front of your bike after a good ride. And you don't want to just go at the windshield or the front of your bike and start scrubbing on them because you're going to end up scratching the finish and scratching up your windshield. The bug release does a great job of just softening up the bugs, you know, so you can easily wash them off without damaging the surface. The Mist and Shine, one of my favorite products, you know, I use this stuff quite a bit in the shop. And it's great for detailing out the bike, keeping it looking good, keeping a nice shine on it without building up, you know, waxes and surfaces on it. And then their Shine Master, which is a good way to seal up the paint. And you want to seal up the paint because you don't want it to be affected by chemicals and you know, bird droppings or anything else. So you want a good sealant on your paint. So it's a good product to have. And what I really like is they've got this convenient saddlebag size of the Mist and Shine. Great for, you know, you go on a ride, you end up somewhere, and you know, you get a little dust and a little dirt on the bike, easily clean it up right where you're at. And finally, you know, this kit includes their microfiber towel. And you know, you should always use microfiber whenever you're doing any polishing or buffing on your bike. The reason the small fibers, they do a great job of polishing and buffing whenever using any of the Wizards products. And finally, not part of the kit, but a great new product that Wizards offer is their Water Bandit, you know, towel. And it's basically a synthetic chamois. You know, if you've ever, you know, if you remember the old school ways of having the old goat skin chamois that you could, you know, squeeze all the water out of and get your bike really dry. You know, the synthetic chamois doesn't, you know, is not going to get hard as a rock the second it dries. It's not going to have all those problems inherent of the old leather chamois. And it'll do a great job of soaking up all the water and getting your bike dried off once you wash it. You know, a product that I'm really anxious to try is this Wizards 12 Mini, or Big Throw Mini. And by that, it's the Big Throw in the name implies because it's a random orbital, it not only spins, it orbits around a much larger spin pattern. And what that does is it provides a random format, so you're not building swirls into your finish. You're actually, you know, going at the imperfections and flaws in your paint from multiple directions. And what this does is it prevents you from building up heat. It won't just glide over the same flaws and kind of embed them into your finish. It will go at them from multiple different directions, and you'll really get a first-class finish. You know, the Big 12, you know, that 12 millimeter throw is the biggest throw of any 3-inch buffer on the market. And so by Wizards introducing this product, it just, you know, it provides that kind of, that little extra dimension to a random orbital that I think is going to really achieve good results. So with that, let's, you know, get over to the bike and try out these products. Before doing any polishing on our bike or any buffing on the paints, you know, you really want to make sure you get as much of the dirt and grime off the bike as possible. And that's where, you know, the Wizard's Bike Wash does a great job of breaking that stuff up. You know, it's formulated to, you know, break up the bugs and the grime, the regular road grime you're going to get on your bike. But before we even use that, we're going to wipe down the bike first just to get the big bulky stuff off. Plus, you know, you can, you know, it helps to spread the bike wash out and do a little bit more effective job. You know, the bike wash works great. It's, you know, non-toxic, it's non-acid. So it's not going to, you know, it's not going to mess with any of the surfaces on your bike. Plus, you don't have to worry about pets or, you know, your own health issues with spraying the product because it has a non-toxic formula. And there's plenty of road grime on this bike to go around. So it's a good idea to, you know, get a lot of the heavy bulk stuff off anyways. Then you'll know exactly where you need to spend some time and get it right. Okay, we'll let that stay on there for a little bit and then we'll rinse it off. Now that we have the bike cleaned up, we're ready to actually get the paint looking better. And we'll be using the Wizard's 12 Big Throw Mini Polisher. And what I really like about this, now that I've got one in my hand, it's got a nice weight to it. It's pretty lightweight. It's got a nice balance to it. And it's kind of easy to move around. So we'll be starting with a microfiber pad to it. And what this does, with their system, the pad actually helps determine the amount of cut that you get when you're polishing. So this microfiber is where we want to start, and that'll give us our most aggressive. We'll get the pad buttered up and ready to go. There is a speed indicator wheel on the back of the polisher. And to start out, we're going to be, you know, starting at like number 6 speed. And that's our maximum speed. Speed is sort of our friend with a dual action polisher because it, you know, the polisher itself won't build up heat. So we have an opportunity to really utilize a fast speed to get a good finish. And it does have a safe start. You know, as soon as you turn it on, it won't like start at the maximum speed. It slowly builds up speed so it doesn't jerk out of your hands. Probably the hardest thing for us guys who've used you know, just a standard polisher for years is just to remember to slow down. The DA sander is not going to build up heat like a traditional polisher. So, you know, if you've used a regular polisher for years, you know, you're used to kind of going fast because you're worried about building up heat. a random orbital or DA type polisher, because it's not just going in a circular motion, you're not building up as much heat in the surface. So you don't have to worry about burning the paint. You don't have to worry about, wearing through on the edges as much as you do with a regular type polisher. And after just using this one time, just getting started with this, we've already managed to, take out a lot of the smaller scuffs, scratches, and the haze in this paint. And even though that we've got a good sized nick in this tank, doesn't mean we can't make the rest of the tank look really good. And I'm sure down the road the owner of this bike will get around to having the bike painted and fix this chip up. So let's finish up the rest of this tank now. Wizard kit includes this nice brush to, lift up the pile and clean your foam discs while you're working. This helps the disc perform better, helps it hold the compound better. Now, as I'm going, you'll see we'll go in one direction, and then we'll switch direction and we'll go the opposite direction. And we'll do that 3-4 times. If you start feeling dry, you can always add more compound at any time. As you move through the various steps, you can use a microfiber towel and wipe down, your paint in between, just so you can do an inspection, see if there's any areas you want to get a little bit better. And we'll move to the side of the tank next. As I mentioned, it's the type of pad that helps to determine, you know, how aggressive of a cut that you're getting on the buffing itself. So our next step after the microfiber, and it's just a simple hook and loop attachment process, is to go to an orange foam pad. One of the things I like about the Wizard system is when you buy the kit, it also includes a 4-inch round pad too. You know, if you have a little bit bigger area like a fairing or saddlebags, you know, you might want a little bit bigger pad to cover a little more area a little quicker. Okay, we're going to go at this a lot. You know, the process is very similar to what we just did on the microfiber. Again, we're going to butter the pad. We're going to start by, you know, going in one direction, then we're going to go the opposite direction, and we'll do that, you know, 3-4 times. And if the pad starts feeling dry, make sure you add a little more compound. And you can see right away how the random orbital polisher actually prevents getting those swirl marks and those holograms that you sometimes see in paint. You know, there's nothing more distracting than you finish polishing your bike and you take it out into the, you know, the street lights, or, you know, even in the evening sun, and suddenly you get those big swirl marks that come up. Using a random orbital, you eliminate all that, and it gives you a nice smooth finish. Now that we have all the paint correction done, we've eliminated all the haze and scratches, we're ready to actually put on a coat of wax and seal this finish up. We're ready to seal up the paint. Now with the imperfections gone, we're ready to seal it up, and we'll be using a Mystic Nano wax for that. And what that is a synthetic polymer wax. It provides a little bit harder finish than like a carnauba wax. You know, carnaubas have long been the standard by which all polishes and waxes were measured. But as technology changes, the synthetics have gotten a lot better, and Wizard's nano wax, you know, being a synthetic polymer, provides a little bit harder finish, a little slicker, and a little bit more shine than you normally get out of a carnauba. We'll be using a gray pad with the polisher now because it's the softest of the ones they offer, and it gives us a really good surface to polish out this or seal up this paint with. And like anything with a new pad, they tend to really soak up the wax when you first put it on. Once you have that buttered good, again, we're going to use the same principles and the same techniques we used with the compound, and now we'll be doing that with the wax. We do, before I get started, we're gonna knock down the speed just a little bit, because we don't need quite the same speed. Again, you can use a rag to, wipe off the excess wax and polish as you're moving along, and check check how good of a job you're doing and see where you need to, apply a little bit more. Okay, now that we've got, a good coat of the Mystic Nano Wax on, you can really feel how smooth and slippery the finish is, and it really has an awesome shine. Compared to where we started, this is like miles from there. And now we're ready to go along and finish detailing out the rest of the bike. Okay, we've talked about using the Big Throw Mini Polisher for polishing your bike. It's a great tool, whether you're a professional or if you're serious about, making sure your bike looks its best. Awesome tool to have. Not everybody's going to have it, or you're going to be in a situation where you're away from your shop and you need to polish your bike, in which case you want to use a hand application. One of the products that Wizards makes is the Shine Master, which is essentially a lot like the Nano Wax. It'll give you a good sealant to seal up your finish, but it's still breathable. And what that means, it allows the paint to breathe, and it won't, build up on your surface like that. And the application is relatively simple. It's just like waxing most things. You're going to apply it with a soft pad. And you want to really work it into the surface. You want to, apply it in a circular motion, and overlap the circles you're working on to really work it in. And think about it as just kind of rubbing it deeply into the surface itself. And as you're doing that, it's important to know there's just a very, very fine polishing compound in the Shine Master. So if you've got some light scratches or some, a little bit of haze that you want to get off, it does an excellent job of cleaning that up and applying a good sealant on there. The idea with any kind of wax and sealant is usually to work it into the surface. A lot of guys think if they go over it once, then they're good. But kind of think of your hand then operating much the way our polisher did, in going over the surface and in different directions. And covering the surface as well as you can. Once that's worked in, you can come back with a microfiber towel. Wipe off the excess and polish it up. And you know, the good thing about hand polishing and hand waxing, kind of like the random orbital sander, you don't have to worry about swirl marks. And you can do it virtually anywhere. You're at a show, or you're just out on the town, you want to clean it up quick. You can have, you know, a bottle of that in your saddlebags and it'll freshen things right up. Another thing I always carry with me is the Mist and Shine. Great detailing spray. I mean, this stuff, it works perfect for just a quick coat. If your bike's dusty, you can get it on anything. If you get it on the seat leather, it'll clean that up. Your chrome, it'll clean that up good. Even you know, your mirrors and related controls. What I like about it, even, you know, it even works great. Let's say you go on a bike run and suddenly you got like all kinds of bugs. If they're fresh and you don't need to, you know, to use the bug remover, the Mist and Shine will also take those off as well. And it is available in this nice convenient saddlebag kind of size. So you can take it with you and have it there to clean up your bike when the need comes up. Now, as you can see, with just a little bit of elbow grease and some of the right products from Wizards and the right tools, you know, we've managed to take this bike from looking pretty sad to almost ready to get on the road and do a little bit of cruising. Check out the complete line of Wizard products at your local auto parts stores, or you can check them out at wizardproducts.com or even amazon.com.